each episode was done on one day in the studio. And not only the studio, one of the smallest drama studios at the time, Studio D, Lime Grove. I mean, the cyclorama that went round was only 12 foot high. And the sets were put up overnight. So I used to get into the studio about 4 o'clock in the morning, because I knew by that time the stagehands would be tired. They were always pleased to see me, you know, and oh, here he comes. And I used to keep them at it. Everything had to be ready by 10 o'clock to start camera rehearsals. And of course, nothing was ready by 10 o'clock. And camera rehearsals went on till 6, break, 7 o'clock, back into the studio and record for 3 hours and finish sharply at 10. What inspired me? Difficult to say, really. You know, you just grab at the first thing that comes to your mind, really. There wasn't time. The Great Machine of Marinus was one of these problematic sets. I had a design budget and a special effects budget. And there came a point on one particular episode where I didn't have any design budget left, but I had some visual effects budget. So I concocted a set out of visual effects money. I got Shorecraft models to build the conscience machine where the Keys of Marnius went in, and the structure of poles went round it, painted silver and surrounded by black drapes, which were free. When I'm reading a script, I make notes. And there was a scene with a struggle in one of the corridors with the Ford. And this Ford fell through a secret panel, and there was a terrible smooth gap. So I said to the director, you know, well, what's happened? He said, well, he's fallen into the sea of acid. So I said, well, are we going to see that? He said, well, I said, well, the viewer can only judge by what he's seen on the screen. And if he doesn't see that he's fallen into the sea of acid, as far as they're concerned, this board has just fallen into a dark cupboard. So he said, well, do it. Yes, the brains. That was another set that was not a set, actually. The brains and the apparatus that went with them were made by Shorecraft models. All I supplied, really, in set terms, was the rostra for the brains and the door that entered into this dark room. But it was really black drapes, which again were free. There was hardly any sort of design budget involved. The laboratory where they're still under the influence, and they walk in to this wonderful laboratory and they see, well, it's a bare room with a rusty mug. That was very cheap to do. As a point of interest, a lot of writers are fairly clueless about set. I did say to Terry Nation once, I said, you often write in your stage directions, they walk into a bare white room. What do you actually mean by that? He said, well, I couldn't think of anything else to put.